Echo 5, do you copy? Echo 5.
Echo 2, good morning. Nice of you to drop by.
Feeling alright, sir? Thought we lost you.
Right now, I feel like I can take on this whole podcast myself.
I know what you mean. Ready to send that transmission to Echo Base?
Yes, sir. R10, patch through.
Hey guys, welcome to another transmission from Hoth. This is Echo 2.
And this is Echo 5.
Alright, so you guys stuck with us through Mandalorian Season 2. So right now we're going to actually go back a season and we're going to start covering Season 1 for you guys. So we're going to kind of give you our thoughts, our review, and we're just going to discuss it. As far as news, we do want to give a little bit of news. Lucasfilm, or Disney, has announced that LucasArts is going to be returning. Not by the title of LucasArts, but it's going to be kind of the same concept. So they can bring all the projects under one house. So EA is no longer going to have an exclusive contract with Disney for producing games. And along with that, they announced that Ubisoft is going to create an open world Star Wars game. So not exactly sure what they're going to do with it, but it sounds super exciting. And over the next couple of years, they're going to be announcing a few more projects. So they're really working with a bunch of different companies right now. So we're going to get tons of cool new Star Wars content for you Star Wars fans out there.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys checked the Instagram. Also check out our Discord because we've been talking a little bit about it. Over in London, we know Andor has already started production.
Did we get mixed up with I saw different posts. Is it the Andor set or the Obi-Wan set?
See, that's what I was gonna say. A lot of people are thinking it's the Obi-Wan set, but because Andor's already filming, I want to say it's Andor.
Sure.
Yeah, because production on Kenobi doesn't start till March. So either they're getting ready for Obi-Wan and they're building the set so they can start filming, or it's going to be part of Andor.
Sure.
So
they announced the from what I understand, or is it still in rumor territory, that they announced the actor playing Thrawn?
No, they did announce him. I forgot about that. That is some juicy news.
So Thrawn is basically going to be the villain, like we predicted, of the Ahsoka series.
Correct, and we're most likely going to see Ezra. I'm in the works of trying to convince my cousin into finding out if we're going to see Zeb, but
oh yeah,
I'm not going to hold my breath on that because
he was in Steve Bloom was actually in he did a voice in Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, he does voices all over Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like you can hear him in Rogue One, you can hear him in Solo. You hear him all over the place. He does a lot of like stormtroopers and other cool characters. He's very involved in the universe, so it's really cool.
It wouldn't be surprising if he showed up as Zeb.
Yeah, I would love to see a live action Zeb.
I'm hearing too that Sabine Wren is pretty much confirmed to make her live debut in the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, this is supposed to be the sequel to Rebels.
Yeah, so the search for Ezra.
Correct. So it's not going to be surprising to see Sabine meet up with Ahsoka.
I feel like Ezra will show up like at the end of the first season or something. Like it'll be like the big reveal, kind of like Luke at the end of The Force Awakens.
That's what I was thinking too. But wouldn't it be interesting because we know that Ezra kind of toyed around with the dark side in Rebels. Wouldn't it be interesting his time with Thrawn?
Ezra's the bad guy.
Ezra is the villain.
Oh, that'd actually be really cool. I like that idea. Yeah, I'd like to go with that. That's good.
Yeah, one of our followers sent us a picture, and let's see, what was his name? His name was Clevy R on Instagram, and he basically made this little thing, and it's basically Ahsoka saying, "It's over, no more places to hide. Tell me, where's Ezra Bridger?" And then you have Thrawn saying, "As you wish," and then Ezra steps out with a red lightsaber and the Sith eyes, and Thrawn's like, "Killer." Wouldn't that be like a very cool ending to season 1?
No, I think that would make sense, and it'd be different. It wouldn't just be the same kind of thing we've seen before. It'd be fun.
Yeah, because we got to remember that at the end of Rebels, or at the time that Ezra leaves with Thrawn, he lost his master, so he's kind of a little distraught, and he does sacrifice himself in order to save the rest of the rebellion by getting Thrawn out of there. But he's
Mhm.
still an impressionable youth, and so
Yeah,
Thrawn is a very intelligent person. So I'm sure he probably took that time to take advantage of the situation and turn Ezra to his way of thinking and make
have
him part of
you
the Empire.
ever read the Thrawn series?
No, that I'm actually reading The Light of the Jedi, and we'll give a. I've got a couple of people that are reading the book as well, and so we're going to give a review on that. But I do want to jump into Thrawn, and
Well,
we're
my
going to
my
try and
brother
do quarterly book reviews.
my brother read the Thrawn series, and he told me it's crazy because you actually see Thrawn more as a character. Not he's not really working as a he's not really a villain like a Moff Tarkin.
Right.
He's not like a tyrant type villain. He's basically he joined the Empire and got his way to convince the Palpatine to become part of the Empire because Palpatine only likes humans. It's hard, there
Oh yeah, that was in the comic books as well, and that was, I believe,
exactly,
part of
yeah.
Legends.
So basically, he did not want the Empire to dominate his people. So in order to do that, he joined. So you can't beat him,
Correct.
join him, and it's kind of he has this motive to protect his people, and he sees the Empire as a way of doing it, and it's just kind of interesting. It's a different motive than what we see with the other ones, the other leaders of the Empire.
Yeah, because I do believe in the comic, the Empire comes in contact with Thrawn,
Mm-hmm.
and he was on some planet. They used him as a guide,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he fought against them for a while, and they were impressed with how intelligent and strategic he was. And so it caught eyes of Palpatine, because Palpatine wouldn't let any aliens in the Empire. They
Mm-hmm.
all had to be humans. And so
Yeah,
Thrawn was pretty much the only alien to make it into the Empire. And it's exactly what you said. Like, his whole goal by moving up the ranks is to bring about the Chiss ascendancy. And so I'm wondering if we're going to get some more of that in the Ahsoka as well. I
that'd be
think that'd
great.
be cool.
Yeah, I'd be up for
Kind of
it.
like the kind of like in between Empire Strikes Back and wait, yeah, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi with Shadows of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have the Empire, but then you have like this small, yeah, Black Sun as the main threat, and so you're dealing with Prince Shijor, and then you got Dash Rendar showing up. So I'm wondering if Thrawn is going to be kind of like the villain in between Return of the Jedi and the First Order showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be cool. I can see them pulling that off. That'd be great.
Oh, absolutely. And so
A
I'm
lot
really
to look
excited
forward
to
to
see.
besides the Obi-Wan show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's tons of cool stuff coming out, and so I'm really excited to see what's his face. His name is Lars Mikkelsen,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm really excited to see how he's gonna portray Thrawn. Too bad it's not Benedict Cumberbatch.
I know he'd be fantastic. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. I've heard of some people wanting Hugo Weaving. Like there's a
Hugo
lot of
Weaving would have been good.
yeah, just like an intelligent type of actor that would pull it off really good. Benedict
Yeah,
Cumberbatch, I think, would have been my pick though for him. He would have been fantastic. I think because he was already Khan in the Star Trek series, they're not going to reuse him.
that, and I'm so used to seeing the fan art with Benedict Cumberbatch's face for Thrawn.
Yeah,
But I do think Lars Mikkelsen's going to do a fantastic job. Like, he's done some pretty menacing roles, and so I'm excited to see what he does with this.
well, he's got the voice down so well that it'd just be cool to see him as character. I mean, look what happened with Bo-Katan,
Yeah,
Katie
true.
Sackhoff. Yeah. So anyway, cool,
So
man. Good
so
stuff.
that's the cool news that we've got so far, and hopefully we'll be getting some more news in the coming weeks because there's a lot of projects coming out. Um, and guys, be sure to check out last episode. We actually talk about all the projects and a lot of the future of Star Wars. So check that out. Um, so let's do it. Let's dive into chapter one
Episode
of
one,
Mandalorian.
going back in time.
Yeah, and so unfortunately, you're not going to get our first thoughts on it. We will kind of like go back and kind of like think about how we reacted the first time, but uh,
We'll just pretend
just
like it's the first time we saw it.
yeah, exactly. Just because it's been out a while. We've seen season 2, and so now we're gonna jump back into season 1. Um, so when you first saw Mandalorian, when it first hit Disney Plus last November, what were your
Mhm.
thoughts?
I was just surprised. It felt like a movie. The quality really amazed me. I actually thought it looked better than a movie. The animation, the set pieces, the acting, special effects, the music, just everything about it. It was a solid project. Right off the bat, I knew I was going to enjoy the show. Wasn't exactly sure where they're going to go with it, but I liked the look of it and the feel of it. Um, and like I said, it definitely surpassed my expectations for the debut of a live action Star Wars show. I think it was better than I would have expected from a live action Star Wars series. I was very surprised, and the story that it started going into by the end of the episode, it just started getting intriguing right away. Um, having this bounty hunter, and you kind of already got the feeling by the end of that episode that he's a guy with a heart, and um, it would be fun to explore the journey of a sort of battle hardened hero, or I guess when he's not a hero, he's kind of an anti-hero. He's a bounty hunter, but someone who has a very aggressive warrior-like past, and kind of see them have a heart and have a soul, and kind of dive into their character. I thought it was a fun, different way to go for Star Wars.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really did notice on the very first episode. You got Mando, he just comes in, he's like this menacing character, and you're just like, okay, all right, we're gonna get this really nitty gritty show. This
Yeah,
guy's this
totally
guy's
had the
just gonna
Western feel right
no
off the bat.
mercy. Yeah, because like he just comes in that first scene and he just has no mercy, and then you get to the end of this episode and he
When
has
he
a
pulls
change of
that
heart.
corn through and cuts him in half.
Dude, yeah, with that door, that was insane.
I didn't
Eh,
realize until I was just watching it recently, and you look in the background, that the extras, they're like putting their hands over their mouth, like they're like grossed out. They're like, like gasping. That's pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah, Favreau had some good ideas, some good shots, even if they're pretty gruesome. And they had some really good lines for Mando. Like he was really mysterious too. Like
Yeah.
he just shows up to Mithril, and Mithril's like sitting there just talking, being like completely goofy. And Mando's just like, I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Yeah. Yeah. He was good. Like just Mithril, he was just like this random character. He even did a really good job. He had a lot of time to himself on the episode, just kind of wandering around Mando's ship, and using the toilet, the space
Oh
toilet.
yeah, yeah. No, I thought that was funny because that was like a big question that a lot of people had, and they're like, so
Where's it
how
go
do
to the
they use the
bathroom?
bathroom on the ship?
Yeah,
What do they call? What do they call it? Do they call it bathroom, or do they? No, oh, I'm just gonna
back,
go use the back to toilet, the back to
yeah,
tank.
back thing. Yeah, yeah.
I
He's
just thought
like,
that was comedy.
I can evacuate right here if you'd like, but I don't know if you've ever seen something about a expounding thorax or whatever. And he's like, all right, yeah. And
Yeah,
then Mano's just not even talking to him. He's just staring straight forward. He's just kind of like, okay, okay, and he just kind of wanders off. And yeah,
pretty
he was good.
much. Um, and so then they go onto the ship. Dude, what'd you think of that ice creature that just comes out? I was not
Gosh
expecting
dang.
something like that just to appear in the beginning.
Yeah, like the walrus creature. Yeah, he's like, all right, guys, stay off the ice. And then Mithra's all freaking out, and then you see the speeder go off in the distance, and right when it shows like a close-up shot of Mithril like looking all scared. You kind of knew something was going to happen, and the thing just comes out of the ice and just freaking eats him. That was yeah, it was pretty nuts, man. That was a pretty treacherous planet. That was
Oh
the
yeah,
that was the same planet that we saw in the second episode of season 2, correct?
correct,
That's the same ice world.
correct. And so that's the planet that we saw with all those spiders that everybody doesn't like.
What's it called? It's like something
Ugh.
Please.
Uh, ooh, Maldo Crease.
Baldo Crease. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking up the yeah, so Baldo Crease, and then that's the same planet he returns to in episode 2 when he's trying to take Frog Lady to to meet her husband with the eggs. The best episode of season 2. Just kidding. That wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was Maldo Crease.
Maldo Crease. Got
Yeah,
it.
Maldo Crease.
I love seeing the Garindan creature. I liked how they used all these different creatures
Yeah, no,
species
he's just in
from
there
the
playing a
original.
flute.
Yeah, that was really cool. And right off the bat, I didn't catch that early on. The first couple times I saw it before season two, that he's already against droids. He's like, okay, no droids. Like when the astromech R2 unit pulls up in the first speeder, and then
Yeah,
another thing I didn't catch that was kind of fun is Mithril. He's actually the first one that says Dank Farrik. Did you catch that?
I did catch that actually.
When he runs into the ship after the walrus creature. Do you have the name of that walrus creature? I just looked at it and I can't think of the name. It like bugs me.
I think that it's called the Ravenok.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I think you're right. That sounds like what it is. Ravenok.
Yeah, they live under their Ravenoks were large creatures that inhabited the planet, and they mostly just swam underneath the ice.
Moldo Cree.
And yeah, they're
Correct.
they're some fearsome creatures.
It's
They're
like
kind
they're
of
like
like
almost
a,
like a.
a
Go ahead. Yeah.
rhino whale.
Rhino whale. They're like the ice version of the crate dragon, except much smaller.
Yes, exactly, and less
Sand monster
dangerous.
and ice. Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool that Manda just comes out. He just has like his rifle and just like shocks it. It just falls off.
That was like the debut of his weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was good.
And it would be really nice to have that weapon, just because there's just a lot of gadgets on that thing.
Sure.
Which unfortunately later on we find out it might have gotten destroyed inside Razor Crest.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, that's
Moff
true.
just destroys it. Yeah.
I think they just kind of dropped that weapon for the Beskar spear. He's always got to have some unique weapon.
Well, I mean, the most unique weapon that he's got now is the Darksaber.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, we are. We'll get there. That'll be.
Yeah, you'll see
Cool.
that in season 2. You'll hear us discuss all that in season 2.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Then he goes off to Navarro. Oh, of course. Let us not forget the carbonite. When he's looking at it and he's talking about life, he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to make it home to Life Day for Life Day," and then he's just like right behind him. Probably
Yeah,
not.
I like that they made a reference to the holiday special, because a lot of people make fun of the holiday special and say, "Oh, it's not canon."
I thought it was comedy. I thought it was funny.
But they constantly refer back to Life Day,
Yeah.
and so that it's just funny hearing it actually being spoken in Mandalorian.
Yeah. No, it was good. And then he goes off to Navarro and gets a new job.
Yeah. So what do you think of Grief Karga? I wasn't exactly sure what to think of him when I first saw it.
He just seems shady as crap.
I mean, he is a
Mando
guild
had
leader.
all. Yeah. Well, Mando comes back with all these all those well, I can't think of the name. The little the beepy things. I can't think of the name. Is
Oh, the fobs
the fobs. He comes back with all these
or the
fobs.
pucks. The
The
pucks.
pucks. Show me the puck.
Yeah.
That I was thinking the tracker fobs. I think they're tracker fobs.
Yeah,
Or the
Tracker
puck.
Fobs is the one that he got for the asset.
That's right. Okay. So well, he turns them all in. He's got all these people in carbonite, and then Grief Karga is just giving him half. He's like, well, here's some money, and he's like, dude, like seriously, this is all you're giving me? And
It's
then he's like,
Imperial
all right,
credits. You can't even spend this.
yeah, Imperial. The Empire's like not even around anymore. Seriously, dude. And then he gives him the
Reminds
Mon
me of Watto's
Calamari.
like
Oh, yeah.
Republic
Imperial credit.
credits.
Yeah, public credits are no good out here. I need something more real. Um, yeah. So, anyways, he gets the Mon Calamari money. And then he says, I can just pay you half. And he's kind of just like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
give
pretty
me a
much.
big job. Give me a big job, man, because this crap's barely going to cover my fuel.
So yeah, so I didn't think that they're gonna get the Empire involved so quickly. I knew that they're gonna be part of the first season
Yeah.
because I saw the trailer and stuff, but they jumped straight into meeting this interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
It's funny because,
I think he's just called the client.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
so
Admiral.
the Admiral, yeah. And then we get to see Dr. Pershing for the first time,
Yeah.
which out
I
of
love how
everybody
dirty
in
the
that room,
stormtroopers look, too.
dude, yeah, how battle worn they were, just dirty they were, just because of all the what do we call it? Uh, they got no empire, so they're
Yeah.
just kind of like scrabbling through. Like if Vader and Emperor around, those stormtroopers, that armor would not look like that. They would have a fit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got to be
They'd be
uniform ready,
executed.
man. Yeah. No, I actually thought they looked really cool. They looked how they looked all dirty and worn. It was just it was kind of fun. They seemed to those stormtroopers seem really aggressive.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're kind of like, think about it, like you've got the people who are dedicated to the people that aren't. So you got the people that like Bill Burr's character who takes the opportunity to leave the Empire after it falls, or leave to go do something else. Then you got these dedicated people who are pissed because the Empire fell and said they've got a chip on their shoulder.
Sure.
And so you come in and Mando comes in and he's disrespecting who they believe is one of their leaders still. And
Yeah.
they're like, how dare you disgrace us? And
Yeah.
Mando's just not having it. They're like, we got you 4-1. Oh, I like those
I
odds.
like those odds. Yeah.
Probably one of the most famous lines from the first season.
Empire Strike. Yeah. Well, it makes me think of Han Solo. Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds. Very true.
The chance of surviving an asteroid field is 3,720 to 1. No, but no, I love how dirty they look. I love how aggressive they are. And then like right when Doctor Pershing comes in, he busts. He's already got his rifle out and his pistol, and then he's surrounded. And then the
Yeah,
admiral's
because
all
like,
like,
who's this guy just barging into a meeting? He's like,
yeah,
this wasn't part of the deal.
yeah, yeah. No, it was like right off the bat. That's when the episode gets really intriguing, is because already you see like there's like this underground sort of like ex-imperial little group here that's just like doing something really freaking shady, and you're like, what the heck is going on? There's like definitely some bigger picture that you kind of feel is going on the outside, so it
Yeah, no,
really kind of
it's
just, yeah,
yeah. After like seeing season 2 and then coming back to this episode, it's kind of interesting to see how different the Empire is
yeah,
because it doesn't feel this small and
in
in the
season two, no,
by the end of season 1 and during season 2.
yeah,
And so
no,
it's really
definitely,
interesting.
yeah. No, even it's cool too to see after seeing season two and going back to season one, you really see how much Mando or Din Djarin has changed. At that time, you don't know his name, but he's changed a lot. You know, from the first season, the first episode to where we're at now. It's crazy how much the guy's changed. He's literally become like this father figure, and in this episode, he's still the kind of restless
Gritty Western cowboy.
bounty hunter. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of really fun to just really see his journey again from the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah, could you really see that? Because especially when he's like just like flying the ship and you got Mithril just sitting there just making idle chatter. Amanda's just
Mm-hmm.
ignoring him the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't even
And
talk to him. Yeah, this is funny. I love that.
then jumping to when he's got Grogu just sitting in the chair next to him. It's
Yeah,
like he's like, stop it. Just he reacts to almost everything Grogu does. It's pretty comedy.
yeah. Like it's his kid. That's funny.
Exactly. And that's one of the cool things about it is we kind of get to see. I'm glad that they kind of like did that character development. I mean, because honestly, if they just had him just soft-hearted the entire time and not a gradual thing, then I'd be kind of like, whatever. But they actually did some really good character development with
Yeah,
Mando.
big time. I mean, that's the whole excitement of the development. That's one thing they do really good in the shows, and I know it's because they have time to do it. And that's one thing I really love about the Star Wars shows versus the actual films, is all these characters are just given so much time to grow. I mean, like you look at Ahsoka, you look at Bo-Katan, like all these different characters we've gotten to know from the series, and then they show up in this show. Of course, these ones, particular ones later in the season two, but it's just really cool because we know them, we're familiar with them, and we care about them because they've just really got us sucked into and invested in these characters. Um, but I mean, the movies do a good job too. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying like the shows. I feel like TV is just really going to be the way to go for epic tales because of the time you have to tell a story about these characters. I feel like it's a lot more. They can be more thorough and um, just more detailed and focused on these characters when they have a lot more time. So I don't know. It's exciting.
Yeah,
It's a good
that's why
time
I'm
to get
actually
stories.
excited that most of the projects coming out are going to be TV shows, especially with like Ahsoka. I don't think they I mean, they'd be able to do it in one movie,
Yeah,
but I like that they're stretching it out
yeah.
because it gives
I
it
feel
a
like
little bit more depth.
you kind of mentioned. I know we'll go over Rogue One in one of our future episodes, but Rogue One, we kind of talked about how it felt like a lot of the characters. It was a really good story when you really sit back and look at it, but a lot of the characters, we kind of agree we weren't completely vested in because they just kind of showed up real quick and then they're swept away on this adventure and then they die and then I guess we're sad. I mean, we're sad because they die, but we don't know them enough to just sit there and start crying or anything. You know what I mean? Because we're just like not we don't care a whole lot about them yet. You know?
Yeah, and I
And
think that's where Andor's going to change a lot of that, at least for his character.
sure, absolutely,
Imagine
absolutely.
seeing Chirrut and some of the other characters. Well, actually, no, they wouldn't show up because they find him on uh
On Jada.
Jada, yeah. But it'd be interesting to kind of see like some of the characters that we see in Rogue One from the Rebel Alliance that they come across in the show while in the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah. So Mando gets this new deep pocket job, as Grief Karga calls it, and gets hooked up with these Imperials and goes off to another desert planet, Arvala 7. Not to confuse by Jakku or Tatooine.
Yeah, and he gets a little cool piece of Beskar, so we get to see
Oh
what it
yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I skipped that part. Yeah, that's right. He got his Beskar shoulder pad,
Yeah, and
and then
so we actually get to meet the armor.
and we also saw how he donated like all that money to the foundlings.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a little bit of character development with this character because we kind of see
Yeah,
that he has a background and because we
see all
see
the
some
flashback.
flashbacks, and
Mm-hmm.
so we see that he's not completely heartless and whatnot, and so that's
That
kind of
was a
like the that's go ahead.
I was just gonna say that was one fun thing about season one is you're introduced to those flashbacks, but you just see them little flashes, and then as you continue in the story, you see a little bit more of them, and then you kind of get detail and see what happens in his past. That was kind of a
Yeah,
fun. That was kind of a fun way they told the story throughout the season.
yeah. I remember when I first saw it and I saw those flashbacks. I'm like, oh man, I really want to know more about his why he's seeing those things and like because the armor just sitting there pounding, and then with each pound it's like a different flashback. And so I was really intrigued about that. I'm like, okay, so they kind of give us bits and pieces of Mando's background,
Yeah. No,
and
it was yeah, it was awesome. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, and it was really cool to be able to see that Mando did have a little bit of a heart by donating the rest of it to the Foundlings.
Yeah, that's true. That was kind of like when you really kind of sort of saw really who this guy is. He's a good guy.
Yeah, so they're just kind of. I think that was kind of a little way of them setting up his role with the asset,
Mm-hmm.
and so that way it doesn't seem so surprising that he'd take heart and not want to kill something. That
Yeah,
looks as adorable as that creature.
yeah. So then he gets to his job on Arvala 7, and he runs into
The blurgs.
the blurgs.
I just thought that whole scene was just funny because he's getting like beaten by these guys.
Yeah, they're just
I was
hammering
like,
on him.
but again, I like it because it shows that like these characters, like not even the most powerful bounty hunter you'd say, like he's considered like one of the best. Like he's so expensive, even that the client was mentioning it. And then he comes to this planet, gets bested by just some creature,
Mm-hmm.
and gets saved by Creel.
Yeah. I heard you're the best in the parsec.
What else did it
Oh
say
no,
about me?
yeah,
That
no,
you're
but the blurgs.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The blurgs. I'm trying to remember the first time I saw them. I know them um, from gosh dang, why can't I? From Ryloth. I wanted to say. I was thinking of it. Yeah, from Ryloth. The Twi'leks ride them. You see,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Cham Syndulla rides one on Rebels. I was watching season one and they run it, or actually no, there was season two. In the beginning of season two, they run into Cham Syndulla and he's riding the blurgs, but they're also on they're also in the Clone Wars as well. You see the Twi'leks ride them.
That's
So it was
right. I forgot about that.
yeah. So there's another kind of cool animated something created by Dave Filoni. From my understanding, I don't recall ever seeing them exist in any other.
Nope.
Um,
Clone Wars was the first.
okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Clone Wars, and then of course we get them in Rebels season 2. I don't remember if they. Gosh, it's been so. I'm pretty sure you see them on the fire over Ryloth, the season finale of season 1, um,
Okay, yeah.
of Clone Wars. But sorry, it's actually called the Storm over Ryloth. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that's when we got first introduced to them. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know as a fact they showed up in season 2 of Rebels because I just watched that like a couple days ago.
Very
So
true.
like the crick. Well, did we establish I'm pretty sure and then the Krykna in season 2. I don't know if they're considered Krykna on the planet with the Bendu
Oh, they
in
are. Yeah, they are.
in
Yeah.
Rebels. Okay, so the Krykna. So it's kind of cool to see not just like characters brought to life
But creatures
from
as well.
the creatures as well. It's just really cool to see Filoni's live versions of characters. It's really fun. So I'm excited to see more. I bet we'll see a lot more stuff that's animated in the upcoming shows that get their live debut. It'll be kind of fun, or even other planets. It'd be cool to see Lothal or some of the other planets from the series that we haven't got to see yet in a live action. So another
True.
cool thing I like about these live action shows, because we wouldn't be able to get it in the movies, just wouldn't have time. I mean, you probably will, but and there's only so much time in a movie. You got to cram a lot in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, then we of course we meet our Ugnaught friend. Uh, at
I
the
have
time we don't.
spoken.
I have spoken. At the time we don't know his name yet, so I don't want to spoil that. Like everybody knows, but already.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he was phenomenal. I love the use of the real characters again, the costumes. Um, Even the blurgs looked really good. They did a dang good job, and it's crazy how much this episode, just like what happens in one episode, it's almost like a couple episodes in one. Like you go from Maldo Kreis, the ice world, where he gets um, he captures his bounty, and then he goes off, takes him off to Navarro, gets the job, then he goes off um, to this new desert world, Arvala 7, meets Quill, and then he goes and he hangs out with him. There's just like so much that happens in this episode, man. Then he has to learn to tame the blurg.
Yeah. They did a really good job at doing like the time progression and making sure that we know that he's been there a while. Because
Yeah,
they'd show him like fall off every now and then, and then he finally becomes successful, and so it's kind of a little time jump.
yeah. And
So it does
Quill is
it's
all well, Mister, I have spoken, or Quill, if you just want to say his name. Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
he basically. I thought it was kind of cool how he was really excited to help um, Mando, because he said he's read the stories of the great Mandalorians, and meeting one was just kind of like a really cool thing for him. And he figured, hey, I've got a lot of I got problems here in my valley, and I want peace, and I feel like you're the guy that can bring peace, and come stay with me, and I'll help you out, and I'll get you to ride this blurg because you need it to cross this terrain. And the Mandalorians, they were able to ride the great mythosaur, and so if anything, you can ride this blurg.
Exactly. And so
So
it's
then
kind
that's
of
it.
interesting because that's like the mode of transportation around there. I'm surprised that they didn't have like any speeder bikes like you'd normally see, but this guy just has like these creatures. Like, nope, we're gonna ride these.
It just
I'm
seems
gonna
like
help
yeah,
you because everybody comes here trying to trying to get their reward, but
I
having these guys
feel
here is just making the piece gone. So never actually
yeah.
seen a Mando, but I've read stories, so I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna
Well,
take you
I feel
to.
like I feel like the blurgs are more tactical, more stealth.
That could be it because you wouldn't be able to really track them on the radar, or
Yeah,
they wouldn't be expecting them to come up, and it kind of gives more a bit of that Western atmosphere that they're trying to go with.
yeah. I actually, now that you mention it, the very first time I saw this episode, I thought of a Western because the music sounded Western to me when I first heard the theme.
Yeah, which is very different than a lot of the Star Wars stuff. So I found the soundtrack very intriguing.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I loved it. I just remember the wide shots of them running, and you got that bum 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 bum. Like, and
Yeah,
it has
absolutely.
like dun 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 dun. But like yeah, it's really good. The scenery too. I noticed a lot of the wide shots of the landscapes are really beautiful, and
I,
with the music, and
I actually
it's
noticed that
awesome.
too. Because I was sitting there watching it on my QLED, and a lot of the colors
Ooh,
were just popping.
I'm
Yeah,
jealous. I
and
need one of
I was
those.
actually sitting there like focusing, paying attention, and then I saw all the background stuff and some of like the shots where he has like his rifle and just
Uh-huh.
pointed out, you just see the mountains, just like rolling hills, just right behind him. And I
Just
just
all the
thought that
detail, man. It's
just
awesome.
all the detail was just fantastic.
Where you can
It
see all
looked
those
like a place I
pictures
want to go
shot
visit.
by. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And that's again, yeah, I mean, you just brought up a point of that's one thing that I like about the show is it doesn't look one beef I have with the prequels is a lot of stuff to me did not look real, like a place I could go visit. Um, I know it's a crime for me to say, even in Revenge of the Sith, a lot of people like that movie.
Mustafar,
Mustafar, Utapau. I did not like.
Utapau, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't care for Utapau, man. I mean, we'll talk about that when we go over the Revenge of the Sith review. And I'm probably in the minority here, but it doesn't look like a place to visit. It looks, it just
I think,
to me looks
yeah, I
too.
didn't care for many of the planets of Revenge of the Sith, and so I do have
Uh,
to agree. Like a lot of the places that they go here in Mandalorian are actually places that are
it,
pretty cool. Even
and
Tatooine
yeah, yeah,
looks
exactly.
pretty sick.
They all just look real in the costumes. I don't know. That's one thing I love about the show. But um, yeah. So then they get up to they find the spot where the tracker fob led them to, and they and then he tries to pay. Oh, let me not forget. Quill was trying to. He said he's like, "Hey, what's the payment for me to take you out there?" And he's like, "Half." And then he's like, "Oh, you want me to give half the bounty money?" And he's like, "No, I want half of the blurs we captured." He's like, "What the heck? You
Oh
captured
yeah.
them?" And then he's like, "Well, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it to get there." And then when they get to the spot, Mando's trying to give him money now, and he's just like, "No, I just want you to bring peace to my valley. That's all I care about. I had years of servitude serving the Empire, and that's all I care about is just to relax and have peace. I don't care about money."
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, that's why I'm helping you. Just get these
Yep,
people out of here. Get
yep.
whatever everybody's coming after, and just get out of here.
And he's like,
And
"Yeah, and
it's funny
yeah,
that the peace comes with wiping out an entire
that
settlement.
that is true." But was that a settlement or those invaders that were settling there?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's still a settlement, but a settlement of the invaders.
But they
Kind of
pretty
thing
much
like
destroyed it to get them.
Honda's group. That's
Mm.
kind of what they reminded me of. Just a bunch of pirates just kind of like overtaking a small town and making it their
Oh
own.
man, not to sidetrack too much, but gosh dang, seeing a real life Honda would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know, because there's a lot of Niktos in that battle.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I thought Honda was a Weequay.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think he is. You might be right, because both the species are very similar.
They are, yeah, the Niktos, yeah, because I know they had a Nikto Jedi in Attack of the Clones. Like, yeah, I'm real familiar with
That's
the
true.
Niktos.
He is a weak way. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll get to that more when we do Clone Wars. He's definitely Hondo, man. He's probably one of my favorite characters from the animated series for sure. But so anyway, so Quill leaves him. He leaves him to it, and he says, if the Mandalorians, if their stories prove true, this should be basically an easy sweep for you.
Yeah,
Send it up,
exactly.
do your thing, do what you do best. And then of course he sees the IG droid walking in there. He's like,
He's
oh
like, hey,
crap.
I don't remember anybody else being assigned to this. And the AG-11 is
Yeah,
like, I was under the same impression.
yeah. That's kind of when there was that too, and you get more of that in the second episode. But you start seeing like, holy crap, there's they just sent everybody out here.
Pretty much, yeah. Because just in case he failed, I don't
Yeah,
like. They're like, oh, I know you're the best, but even then, and so it's. I want to make kind of like a little side note because a lot of people probably didn't realize this because like a lot of the Legends material, you had Boba Fett and IG-88. They had a rivalry going, even during Empire Strikes Back,
mm-hmm.
and you can kind of see IG-88. One of the droids is one of his because I think there are like 3 units. They all work like in the network, and one of
Mm-hmm.
them is just chilling in Cloud City, and one of the garbage heaps that you see 3PO on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of funny to see another Mandalorian and another IG unit
See how
together
they get
in
along.
Star Wars. Yeah,
I feel like that was like
well,
a
get
homage
along
to
for a
that.
little bit.
I feel like they paid homage to that friendship or that
Rivalry,
right. Yeah, the
that just
rivalry.
that
There you go.
connection,
Yeah, that's cool. That's
because they're
really
both
awesome.
because they're both bounty hunters, and then here you are with two more bounty hunters of the same origin.
Sure,
Well, almost same origin.
that's fun. I like that. That's really cool.
And so
And
that's
then
one
of
thing I
course they
noticed a
work
lot that
together.
you see in Dave Filoni and Favreau. They pay a lot of homage to the Legends material, and so
Yeah,
we're going to cover a lot more Legends material on the hotspot. So that way, you guys can be able to appreciate and recognize a lot of the Easter eggs that they toss in there.
yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That'll be really cool. Look forward to it. Um, they so then they end up working together because it's like the only option because they're pretty much surrounded by these Nikto species.
Yeah, and so they sit there and team up. I just like how the IG-11 moves. He looks very like clay animation-ish, but at the same time,
Yeah,
looks pretty dope. Especially with a
he,
lot of his spin moves. He just sits there and spins and starts shooting at everything.
he's like shooting behind the back, flipping around, twisting, shooting up, and hey, there's one above you. Shoots up, just keeps walking. Yeah, he's pretty much he looks unstoppable. Then he's like surrounded
He looks like a
pretty
PC
quickly.
gamer with auto aim.
Yeah.
No, no, no! Don't self destruct! Don't self destruct!
Yeah, come on, man. What are you doing? And then he does it like a second time too. It's just really funny. He's like, "Don't self-destruct. We're gonna
Yeah,
skate
they
our
put a
way
lot
out
of
of this."
yeah, they put a lot of comedy on it. I was thinking that was just comedy.
Yeah. Oh man, when he gets to that cannon gun, that
Oh,
ion cannon,
dude!
oh my gosh, that was awesome. He's like,
And
"All
then
right,
he
we're gonna
just
skate our
finishes
way out of
everything.
here." And yeah, no, it was great. He just knocks that guy out, jumps on the swings, just like takes down everyone. That was good.
Yeah,
They
actually,
have
one of
to.
my favorite shots is him standing right next to that blaster, and then you just
Mhm.
see like a wide shot of the whole town, and it's just nothing
Uh-huh.
but bodies.
Yeah, yeah. When he after he takes them all down,
Yeah,
yeah, and he's just like walking, and then yeah, that was crazy. And then when they go to the asset, the tracker fob leads them to that door, and they go in, and um, he's like, "Oh, there's like one more guy," and he's just like, "Anybody else?"
yeah.
And they're just
Anyone else?
walking in like two badasses walking through the door. They had that shot of them walking through together, you know.
I thought
That
that
was
was
cool.
epic. I did
Yeah,
really like that. And then they're
that
sitting
was
there trying
awesome.
to find out where their target was, not
Yeah,
expecting it to be like in this little
little
orb.
cradle. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then he's like, "What the heck?" He's like, "They said it was 50 years old," and then the IG droid's like, "Some species age differently." You know, that was really interesting. And he's like, "Too bad we're not going to be able to find out more." He's going to kill him.
he's like, "What? No." And then that's when you see the turning point for Mando, where
Yeah,
he's like,
that's
"It's
it, man.
unnecessary to kill it, so I bring
Yeah,
it in alive or dead."
yeah.
And in this instance, there's no resistance, so bring it in alive.
I feel like regardless, they would have had issues even if they were on the same page because they're going to split the reward half. I
Yeah,
feel like I feel like one of them would have ended up killing each other regardless because
I feel
I mean
like
they're
based on what we know of Mando, I know he probably would have stuck to it. I think and then the IG unit wouldn't have made an issue either because it's a droid.
because he either accepts or he doesn't accept.
Yeah,
Ah,
if it
good
was
point.
unacceptable in the
Yeah,
beginning, he would have said no.
yeah. He's like we'll
Unacceptable.
split in half. This is acceptable. You know, you're
Yeah.
right about that. That is totally true. So I guess it
So
would have worked out, but
yeah, just based on what we know about both characters and how they operate.
man. Well, that was a really good episode though. It was very eventful. It's insane how much happens in one episode, and yet it doesn't feel forced or rushed. I thought they did a very good job with the pacing, but still being able to
They,
hash out everything they needed to get in this episode.
it's true. They just told the story that they needed to tell,
Yeah, exactly.
and they just moved it as fast as needed and as slow, and paid attention to detail when it was necessary.
Exactly. So, what what would you rate this episode, man?
I'd give it a solid 8. Uh, it was a very very good start to the entire Mandalorian series because we get
Yeah.
an idea of who Mando is. We get to see his personality a little bit and kind of a bit of character development from the start of the episode to the very last shot of him basically starting to you can see the wheels turning in his head when he saw the child. Like
Yeah.
he's like, am I really going to turn this thing in?
Yeah. No,
And I think it would have been the same.
I'd agree with you. I'll go for it. I think I'd definitely say an 8, if not a 9. Just it's hard for me to give it a 9 or a 10 just because it's not my first viewing. I feel like my hype was a lot higher when I first saw it. I probably would have given it a freaking 10 the first time
Yeah.
I saw it. So to be fair, I'd say it was a 10 because there was nothing wrong with the episode. I didn't dislike it in any way. I liked everything about it. Like I said, the costuming, the cinematography, the sets, the music, the story, the character growth. I mean, just from the start to the end of the episode, you already saw the character growing, and you're already kind of into this guy, you know.
Yeah.
So, um, and they already pretty much set up the idea of the villains, who's the villains. The Empire is still sort of around. We assume there's a bigger picture. We don't really know yet, but there was enough intrigue to wonder if there was. So I just feel like they did a solid job on this episode, and for it being the debut of a live action Star Wars TV show, I couldn't have imagined it any better.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah,
So yeah,
but
I think they did a really good job, and it definitely made me excited to see the rest of the season. I do remember being hyped for the next episode.
well, I just loved I loved all those little Easter eggs. I mean, just little fun things they added in, like when he's walking through the town of Navarro, you see a Salacious Crumb character, the monkey
Oh, the
lizard, getting
Kowakian
yeah,
space lizard,
yeah, just kind of getting roasted, and then they had
the Gonk
the
droid,
the guy, yeah, the Gongor.
everybody's
That's the
favorite
different.
droid from the movies is the Gonk droid.
But he was kind of like a different. He had like a shiny top, so he's this
Yeah,
like shinier version, and then you got to see the Jabba's palace entrance door droid. Piki, like that. And
yeah.
I thought he was gonna laugh. Like when he goes in, like when
That
I was like expecting him to laugh. But
would have been
no, just
hilarious.
yeah, just those little things. I thought it's just fun to see it all kind of feel like this is new, but we're in the same universe, and it was really fun. Kind of something I feel like yeah. So, something I didn't like about the sequels, but we'll get into that in our sequel conversation. A
Yeah, true.
lot of stuff in there didn't seem as Star Wars to me, I guess. I mean, everything was too new and not enough familiar, but yet too familiar, which we'll get into what that means.
Very true. Very true.
So, anyway, man, great
So
episode.
really, yeah, really great episode, and um, we'll continue on with our discussion with the next episode. We're gonna be recording every 2 weeks now, so just expect to hear us cover the next episode in 2 Fridays.
Yeah.
Um, thanks for joining us, guys. Like always, we appreciate your guys' support. If you guys aren't already, go ahead and follow us on Instagram. Check out our merch. We got some cool shirts that I know that you guys will like. We're building up a Discord, so look for a link down below to join that and join our community. And um, always shoot us a DM if you have any questions or be able to comment below. Give us a like, share us with your friends, help us get our name out there because we love discussing Star Wars and we love bringing you guys new content. So thanks for the support, guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Echo 2 out.
Echo 5 out. May the force be with you.
Always.